tonight, yeah, we got blessed by the footballing gods. This was one of the greatest Champions League semi-final ties we have seen in modern times. I think statistically, this is the highest scoring semi-final tie we've seen in history. And after you watch a game like this, it just makes you count your blessings, man. It just makes you so appreciative of the game. It makes you feel so sentimental, and it reminds you exactly why we love this beautiful game. Like, honestly, you see a game like this, man, and you wish they made a third leg just to seal it even more. I was praying this game would go as far and deep as possible. I wanted this to go into extra time. I would have even taken penalties. I was ready to squeeze every last bit out of this game because, my lord, this was an incredible showcase of the beautiful game today. It's a cliche, but honestly, it really was. And I'm so happy that I recorded this game because I'm going to be watching this again later this week, man, because you do not get games like this very often. So many moments, so much drama, so much spectacle, so much superb play. What I loved about this game was that it was two incredible football teams, and I'm really putting a lot of, heavy lifting on the team element. Barcelona, La Masia, Total 90 Football, they've got a footballing heritage when it comes to playing this way. A young, vibrant team full of La Masia grads that have played together throughout the age groups at Barcelona. They have this added understanding in their game, this added fluidity, and it really translates in their football. And they took on an Inter Milan team that have spent nearly 4 to 5 years working under Inzaghi. And Inzaghi has the team, the players, the squad perfectly curated into his ideas of football. And it really produced this engaging, exciting spectacle of football between an Inter Milan team who are one of the, if not the best counter-attacking team in the world. Like the timing of their movements, their runs, how they arrive into space. It's just so dynamic, it's so fluid, it's so telepathic. And that was like the kryptonite to this high-line, energetic, technical, young Barcelona team. And it just was the perfect contrast for each other. And I think that's why we were blessed with an abundance of goals over both legs. This is why we got so lucky as football fans to witness a very special game like this. Yes, on one hand, I was low-key hoping maybe Barca, only this time, Barca might go through to the final so we could get a Paris Saint-Germain Barcelona final. But honestly, Inter Milan, more than worthy rivals. And in a game like this year, either team could have won it and they would have felt like they deserved it. Like, it was really like one of those rare, perfect games. It felt like I was watching like a real life version of a FIFA game, if that makes sense. Or the game had elements of like last score wins. That there was just like real like football purity to this game tonight, right? It was just pure vibes. It was just pure fun, pure technique, pure everything. And yeah, 7-6 on aggregate over both legs. Inter winning 4-3, taking the lead 2-0. Game goes back to being 2-2, and then it's just back and forth, with the full-time game ending 3-3, and then Inter Milan scoring that decisive goal to make it 4-3. Obviously, I have to go through the goals first, and then after that, I'm going to go through some of the outstanding players of tonight, because, wow, boy, this was like one of those incredible games that you're not going to see very often. So I hope you guys are really going to just let this game sink into your soul a little bit, yeah? But yeah, straight off the bat in that first half, it felt like Inter Milan just perfectly knew how to exploit that Barcelona high line. Barca play with this high line throughout the entire season. I think the next best defensive team in the Champions League, I can't remember who it was, but they have literally like less than half of the offside traps enabled that Barcelona produced in this tournament so far. And Inter, they were ready for that. And you could see how they were regularly using DeMarco and Dumfries to be those outlets to make those runs in behind. You're playing balls in front of them to run onto. And then they're stretching that Barcelona back line and they're getting their strikers into the game. And that's how we saw Martinez getting the first goal, and credit to Martinez, of course, still nursing a bit of an injury. He wasn't at his best footballing self, but he still put a shift in for the team, and he was there where it mattered to convert that to make it 1-0. And then, of course, in the second half, sorry, you guys, I don't know why I'm saying second half. I don't know why I'm coughing. I need to collect my bearings a little bit. I'm still absolutely gassed about what I saw, but continuing on in the first half, of course, Inter make it 2, and maybe controversy around this decision, but when you're seeing the replays from VAR, you can see why they had to give the penalty against Kubasi. I think in real time, it looked like he had literally won the ball fair and square, but the slow motion replays really showcase, you know what? He went through Martinez first before he made contact with the ball. It was fair, and then cahannoglu does the rest and makes it 2. And I think Barca were quite lucky because in that first half, Inter could have sealed the game, could have maybe made it 3-0 in that first half. That's just how much they had Barcelona in their pockets. Yamal was getting controlled a lot more in that first half. Raphinha was a shadow. You didn't see any of him. The Barca midfield wasn't able to cope with the intensity and aggression of that Inter Milan press. And Inter, you thought in that first half, they've easily sealed this game. So I have to say credit goes out to Barcelona for coming out in the second half, but also taking advantage of the fact that Inter Milan clearly was starting to run on empty. They put in a lot of yards, a lot of legs to be able to play over distances, to play direct, to play through Barcelona's midfield. That requires a lot of energy, and they are a very mature team. They have a lot of maturity, one of the oldest average squad ages in the tournament this season, and that caught on to them. But credit to Barca for playing their football and doing what they do best and just letting their technique speak for them. They weren't forcing moments. They were comfortable receiving in tight spaces, probing, playing it left to right, left to right. I think one thing I really like about Barcelona is that when one of their players receives a ball, it's like they take a touch in the opposite direction just to try and, catch out the opposition's defensive shape. And they did that. And, credit goes out to Gerard Martin. 2 unbelievable deliveries. Fine Eric Garcia, who superb finish, half volley, first time top left. You can't save those efforts. And then Dani Olmo making that run right to the far post. Excellent cross, so much quality in that delivery. The pace of the cross, the way it dipped, the way it had to go over the entire back line. That was a world-class ball, and Barcelona made it 2. And you just felt to yourself, yeah, Barca, it seems like they're about to win this game in the second half. Their star guys are getting back in the game. I'll focus on them near the end part of this review. And Inter Milan were starting to get cheaper with their dispossessions. They were constantly just losing the ball. They couldn't find any of their rhythm. It felt like once they had finished spamming their scripted pass and goal moves, when it came to playing a different game where they had to play under pressure, they really struggled, and they were giving Barca chances to get back in this game. So when Barca eventually made it 3 near the end, right near the end of the second half, Raphinha, a guy who was on the periphery but was growing into the game as it went on. This guy's left foot, one of the best left foots in Europe this season. Unbelievable season from Raphinha. When he was unmarked to the far post, you just knew with the season he's having and the level he's at right now, something dangerous is coming from this. Great save from Sommer to deal with his first shot, but then, pinpoint accuracy and direction and placement from Raphinha to just, hit that away from the keeper. Good play from, was it Ferran or someone who just didn't make contact with the ball because they would have been offsides. And you thought from that moment, Barca have won it. The game's over. But the footballing gods tonight, man, they said no. They said, you will be entertained. It's not over just yet. Inter Milan, you got one more attack in you. And boy, that finish on Maccabi, of course, phenomenal play from both Dumfries and Thuram, we'll discuss later on. But that finish on Maccabi then, just to get in front of, is it Inigo Martinez, using the pace of the ball in his favor to just aim that and place that top right bins. 37 years old. Look how he celebrated afterwards. Look at the emotion that came from him. That's a moment where you rightfully hold that yellow card, yeah, because you're taking your shirt off, you're taking everything off, pure football ecstasy. It was great to see. And the game that no one wanted to end did not end. And we had extra time coming our way. So it was a bit of a surprise to see Inter Milan take the lead so early into the start of the second half, but courtesy goes straight to Marcus Thuram. Wow. I mean, from that moment when he won the ball, tireless, selfless work rate throughout the game. He won the ball in a position where there was no one close to him, like in a 20-yard radius. And he was able to just run that channel, hold the ball, face up against Arujo, drop his shoulder, skin past him. And this is where, the coaching of Inzaghi really comes into light, because Taremi, who replaced, Martinez, he had pinned his centre-back. He receives a cut back from Thuram, and he just cushions it very delicately to Frattessi, who I'm sure was confused by the time and space he had inside the box then, because he just shifted the ball to his left foot and placed and curled it around Chesney, and that was that. And then from that point forwards, Barcelona did their thing to get back. It became the Lamine Yamal show, just forcing shots after shots, dribbles after dribbles, some big moments, some incredible saves as well too from Sommer. I mean, forcing that save from Yamal. My lords. Bro, he opened his body up. It was that final counter-attack. You were thinking, this is it. Barcelona are now going to make this 4-4. Raphinha perfectly weighted pass in front of Yamal. He's running towards goal, being stupidly dangerous all game. Opens his body up, takes a shot left foot, and Sommer fingertips, bro. Fingertips are just definitely dart that away. Wow. Wow. Sommer, man, like, he's one of the most underrated keepers in the world. He's been doing this thing in Germany for a long time. And superb signing for Inter Milan. And his saves tonight kept them in the game, literally. I mean, that Yamal save, one of the saves of the season, especially the timing of that. He was alert at his post time and time again. It was just an unreal game of football, man. And in the end, I did feel sympathy for Barcelona. They were incredible competitors in this game tonight. Very young team. And if you're a Barcelona fan, you're going to be particularly proud and impressed by the quality of these youngsters, the way they played, how they played to win right to the final whistle, and the experience in the team as well. Hopefully, these guys win La Liga. I think they deserve it based on the football spectacle they've been just giving us fans throughout the season. But my guys, to end with things, I need to talk about some of these star players today. And I think from Inter Milan, that Jan Sommer was one of them. But obviously, the two main stars today, Dumfries and Marcus Thuram. I mean, Marcus Thuram, what a selfless, showcase up front today. I mean, he has so much responsibility for the team. He was the outlet for Inter Milan. He had to run the channels. He had to back into defenders. He had to bring his teammates into the game. And he played for over 2 hours, selflessly running, tracking back, following runners, making runs into space. It was superb. And it was very fitting that, he played the decisive parts to release Dumfries to make it 3-3. And then, of course, finding Taremi and Frattessi with that goal that led to the winner in this game tonight. One of those performances where if you're a young striker, you're going to watch that performance today because, Barcelona's defense couldn't really cope with him. It was a very engaging battle throughout the entire game. But Marcus Thuram, just living up to the Thuram legacy, what a footballing dynasty of a family. It's just absolutely insane. And, his work up front today, went a long way in putting Inter Milan into the final. And obviously, probably one of the stars tonight, Denzel Dumfries. Living up to that Denzel name. Like, you're not calling your son Denzel if he's not going to be doing special great things, yeah? But my lords, wow. I mean, he reminds you of Michael when he just makes those long busting runs in behind. He's a constant outlet for the team. He got 2 assists tonight for Inter Milan. The 2 decisive assists, one to get Martinez scoring the first goal, and of course the pinpoint law-driven effort to find acerbi right near the end. He was a thorn that Barca could not contain. Even though, again, Martin down his side, I was really impressed by that kid as well. He also got 2 assists. It was just who can attack better down that right flank. But you would say Dumfries slow key kind of edged it a little bit tonight. I mean, wow, just his sense of timing, his arrivals in the books, the quality he showed today, the relentlessness behind his play. He deserved that standing ovation when he left the field today, because if Inter Milan did not have Dumfries playing tonight, I don't think they win this game. And they definitely aren't getting 4 goals today. That's how important and impressive Dumfries was for Inter. But obviously, I'd say 2 other low-key shouts. I thought Frattessi was excellent when he came on. The work rate he put in, his goal threat with his left foot, how he kept the midfield ticking. And I thought Taremi was an excellent platform striker for Inter Milan today. But from Barcelona's side, come on, Lamine Yamal, my lord. You know, when I was younger, I used to hate watch Barcelona because at the time, us and Chelsea, them and Chelsea had like a massive rivalry. And, we were at the expense of a lot of bad decisions going against us, against Barca. So the rivalry it was real. But during that moment, I ended up hate watching Barcelona when I was young, when I was a kid. And I'm so grateful that I did that, because I got to witness one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player in the sport's history, Lionel Messi, from his formative years right to the end. A blessing to see. If you're a lover of this game, watch Barcelona purely for Lamine Yamal, because this kid's might be going in the history books. 14 dribbles today. I've not seen a 17-year-old's. Well, again, I wasn't alive. I mean, when your Pele's and Maradonas were doing their thing, yeah. But in my lifetime, I have not seen a kid's this impressive. I don't even think Messi was this accomplished at 17 like Yamal was, even though, listen, by the time Messi reached 18, 19, scoring hat-tricks against Real Madrid, yeah, he was clear. Let's keep it real. But at the moment, maybe Yamal might have like a little edge right now. But my lord, is this guy just a football genius? I mean, the ball is glued to his feet. He was a constant outlet for Barcelona. He forces so much of his dribbles, his runs, his shots, his crosses, the perfect weight he has, in terms of releasing the pass really early, finding guys at the far post, his combination plays, his take on ability. DeMarco did a lot of good tactical fouls to try and stop him. Bastoni tried to do that as well. They took it in turns to foul him, but you couldn't stop him. The bravery he played with to constantly get knocked down, but to face his man up, beat him, and force shots after shot. And you think to yourself, if this was a Yamal who's like maybe 21 years old, which is even mad to suggest, maybe some of these efforts today are going in, especially that one near the end that could have made it 4-4. But wow, what an unreal performance from this kid's. Yeah, pay attention, because I think this kid's going down in the history books. This is not normal, what we are seeing from a 17-year-old, from how he looks to how he plays. It's Super Saiyan Yamal, man. Shame for the kids that he's not going to the final. But yeah, what an unreal performance from him. And he might be, in my opinion, he's the best teenager I've seen at the moment right now, especially at 17 years old. And obviously, for Barcelona, I thought Martin's excellent deliveries throughout the game. And yeah, my guys, that's pretty much that. But yeah, I'm still feeling a bit shaken. I'm still not able to really comprehend what I've seen tonight. Yeah, I'm excited for the game tomorrow. It's a reminder, though, that when you see these European games, a lot of Prem fans have this elitism where we're not respecting the European game enough. But I've always been saying for a long time, there's a sense of like flow that you see in football outside the Premier League. And I think that's been one of the things that's really stood out to most Prem fans during the Champions League games of watching this season. And I wish the Premier League had this bit of flow and it wasn't just so start and stop, destroy and run, power, 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 because, when the game's played out of flow like this, with the technique, the timing, the tactical intelligence can shine. You see, historic games. So my friends, that is everything for me tonight, man. Share your thoughts and opinions on your favorite moments in this game, and I will see you tomorrow with the review for Arsenal Paris Saint-Germain. Love, my guys. Cool.